The entertainment world has never been short of surprises. But nothing could have prepared fans for the sudden announcement that Kim Jong-kook, the man known for his discipline, privacy, and iron will, had quietly married none other than Song Ji-hyo, the beloved actress and variety show icon. For years, they had stood side by side on Running Man. Their chemistry endlessly speculated upon, their camaraderie admired, and their private lives hidden behind carefully drawn curtains. In one shocking weekend, the news broke. The two had tied the knot in what was described as a secret and sudden marriage. Fans were left speechless. The media scrambled for details, and questions poured in from every corner of the globe. The initial revelation was chaotic. Headlines across Korea screamed with disbelief. Kim Jong-kook and Song Ji-hyo married in secret ceremony. Social media platforms lit up in a frenzy of speculation. How long had they been together? Why now? Why the secrecy? For years, both stars had brushed off rumors linking them together, often laughing on variety shows when teased about being a couple. The public, used to playful denials, assumed that their bond was purely platonic, forged in the fires of long hours filming together. But now, everything seemed different. Every moment of lingering eye contact, every supportive gesture on set, every inside joke that once seemed like friendly banter was suddenly being replayed in fans' minds as potential evidence of a deeper relationship. Kim Jong-kook, famously private, chose not to respond immediately. For days, silence reigned. Song Ji-hyo too remained quiet, neither confirming nor denying, letting the storm grow unchecked. The lack of information only fueled the fire. Tabloids speculated wildly, some claiming the two had been secretly dating for years, suggesting the marriage was a hasty decision made under pressure. There were even outlandish theories about contractual obligations or secret scandals. But eventually, the man at the center of it all decided it was time to speak. When Kim Jong-kook finally appeared before reporters, the air was electric. This was not the muscular singer-turned-variety star cracking jokes with his castmates. This was a man visibly carrying the weight of a secret long held. Taking a deep breath, he began with a simple but explosive truth. The marriage was not as sudden as it appeared. He and Song Ji-hyo had, in fact, been in a relationship for many years. The shocking part was not that they had gotten married, but that they had managed to keep their romance hidden in plain sight. Even from some of their closest colleagues, Kim admitted that the secrecy had not been easy, but it was intentional. He revealed that his decision was largely motivated by a desire to protect Song Ji-hyo. "I know how harsh the media can be," he confessed. "I didn't want her to face unnecessary pressure or to feel suffocated by constant rumors. We wanted to love freely, away from the spotlight, away from endless questions." His words resonated with fans, many of whom had seen how relentless the Korean entertainment industry can be towards celebrity relationships. As he spoke, the picture of a hidden love story began to emerge. Far from a whirlwind romance, this was a relationship forged slowly and carefully, on mutual trust and companionship. The two had known each other for more than a decade through their work on Running Man. At first, they were simply colleagues and close friends. Over time, the bond deepened. Outsiders dismissed as harmless teasing between two stars was, in fact, the surface of a genuine affection growing quietly beneath the cameras. Kim Jong-kook described the countless small moments that strengthened their connection. There were times when Song Ji-hyo would stay late after filming just to talk, sharing thoughts and worries. Moments when he, known for his stoicism, found himself smiling just a little wider in her presence. They began to meet outside of work, always careful to avoid being spotted. Sometimes, they would disguise themselves and walk through the city like ordinary people, treasuring the rare anonymity they could steal. Despite the secrecy, Kim admitted that fans were not entirely wrong to have suspected something over the years. "People always said our chemistry seemed too natural," he smiled. "And maybe they were right. It was real. But we couldn't tell them then." Indeed, fans had often speculated about their closeness, but the stars' consistent denials had convinced most that it was all in good fun. Now, those old clips were being rediscovered and dissected with renewed interest. But why then, if their love had been enduring for so long? They suddenly decide to marry? Kim paused when answering, his expression heavy with emotion. "The truth is," he said, "we had always planned to tell the world when the time was right. But the right time never seemed to come." always another project, another show. The reason to wait. Eventually, we realized that if we kept waiting, we might lose the chance to give our families the happiness they deserved. His voice softened as he explained that both he and Song Ji-hyo were no longer in their 20s or 30s. They were older now, and their parents had long wished to see them settle down. The decision to marry quickly was not about scandal or secrecy, it was about family. About giving joy to those who had given them everything. Revelation added a poignant layer to their story. Fans had expected a dramatic twist. Perhaps a scandal, but instead, they were given something deeply human, two people who had loved quietly for years, deciding finally to honor that love with marriage. Aided by devotion not only to each other but to their parents. It was shocking not because it was sensational, because it was so beautifully ordinary in a world obsessed with spectacle. By the time Kim finished speaking, the media storm had shifted. The narrative was no longer about secrecy or suspicion but about admiration. Here were two stars who had managed to protect their love for years against impossible odds, who had chosen family over fame, intimacy over exposure. As the first part of his confession came to light, the world held its breath, waiting for the second half, the most personal revelation yet. For while the story of their hidden romance was captivating, there was still one question lingering in every fan's mind. What exactly pushed them to finally tie the knot in such a sudden and private way? And what did this mean for their future? The second part of Kim Jong-kook's confession came days later, in a quieter setting. This time, he spoke not from a press conference podium but through a heartfelt interview that allowed him to share the more intimate side of his story. If the first revelation shocked fans by unveiling a love story hidden in plain sight, the second would move them to tears by exposing the raw truth behind the timing of the marriage. Kim began by speaking about his family. For years, he had carried the weight of being a dutiful son. His parents, like many in Korean culture, longed to see him married, to know that he would not be alone. Time passed and both he and Song Ji-hyo entered their 40s. The unspoken pressure grew heavier. Behind the image of the strong, unbreakable commander was a man who quietly worried about disappointing the people who had raised him. He revealed that part of the urgency to marry came from a health scare within the family. Though he did not go into specifics, he alluded to a moment when he realized that time was precious, and the happiness of their parents could not be delayed any longer. He didn't want to wait until it was too late. He explained softly, "We wanted our parents to be able to witness our happiness, to know that we had each other." Song Ji-hyo echoed these sentiments in a separate interview. Known for her candidness, she admitted that she had wrestled with the decision for years. As an actress, she had always been cautious about her image, aware of how quickly the industry could turn cold. But in the end, she realized that her greatest role was not the character she played on screen, but the life she chose for herself. "I want to look back and regret hiding the person I love most," she said. "And I didn't want our families to keep waiting." The story of their secret wedding preparations unfolded like something out of a drama. Yet it was rooted in reality. Determined to keep things intimate, they invited only immediate family and a handful of close friends. The ceremony was held quietly, without the flashing cameras and screaming headlines usually associated with celebrity weddings. Instead of extravagance, they chose sincerity. Instead of grandeur, they chose warmth. It was, in Kim's words, the happiest day of my life. Not because of how it looked, but because of who was there. When the truth was finally revealed, the public reaction shifted dramatically. Initial confusion gave way to overwhelming support. Across the world flooded social media with messages of congratulations, expressing admiration for the way the couple had handled their relationship. Far from feeling betrayed by the secrecy, many fans felt honored to finally be included in the truth. The sincerity of Kim's words and the vulnerability of his confession disarmed critics and softened even the harshest commentators. The agencies representing both stars soon released official statements, confirming the details and assuring fans that both Kim Jong-kook and Song Ji-hyo would continue their careers, albeit with a renewed focus on balance between work and personal life. They emphasized that the couple's priority was family, but they also reassured the public that neither would be disappearing from the entertainment world. The revelation sparked a broader conversation about celebrity privacy in Korea. Commentators noted that Kim and Song had managed to achieve what many thought impossible, to maintain a real, lasting relationship under the unforgiving spotlight of fame. Their story became a symbol of resilience, love, and the human need for authenticity in a world often dominated by manufactured images. As the dust settled, fans were left not with scandal but with inspiration. The shocking truth behind their marriage was not some hidden controversy but a story of love, patience, and family. Shocking because it defied the usual narrative of celebrity romance, offering instead a rare glimpse into genuine humanity. Closing, Kim Jong-kook left fans with a heartfelt message: "We never wanted to deceive anyone. We just wanted to protect what we had until we were ready. Now, we are ready to share it with you. Continue to support us, not just as entertainers, but as two people who found happiness together." With those words, the story that had begun as a sudden, bewildering announcement transformed into a tale that will likely be remembered for years to come. It was not the tale of a scandal but of a love story written in whispers, sealed with trust, and finally revealed with courage. The shocking truth was not that they had married suddenly, but that they had loved quietly, faithfully, and deeply for so long, waiting for the moment when they could finally tell the world.